Good evening and welcome to your favorite sports program on a Thursday night. It's Sports Wrap. I'm Dr. Sebastian and
Ron Lander.
Dr. Fontaine is not in studio tonight. He will join us at some point. They're in Wesley, Woodford area. I think the United Workers' Party, they were there all day today, so I think he'll join us at some point. Lobby hasn't joined us yet, but as usual, we will start with our prayer, and we have with us the former, maybe still is, pastor in Lambert Church.
Almighty God, we are indeed grateful to you today for having brought us this far. We appreciate, dear Lord, your arms protecting us, guiding us, and ensuring that life continues in the way that you would like us to live. Lord, we make mention of this program, Sports Wrap, a program designed to encourage and to broaden sports here in Dominica and the region and the wider world. We ask a special blessing on those who are participating in terms of leading the way, and those who will call, and those who will listen, and those who for some reason are fearful to call. A Sports Wrap over the years has served the Caribbean, but Dominica in a big way. And Lord, we thank you. We are thankful for those who sponsor this program. The sponsors have been very faithful, and we make special mention of Mr. Timothy, who is at this time on his bed. But Lord, he continues through his company to support this program. And for Rudolph, Thomas, and Sons, we are thankful for them. And Father, we make a special mention of this country. For some reason, sports has suffered in a big way. And we'd like to see through Sports Wrap and via other organizations that sports become something of importance again in Dominica. Lord, we like to insist that it is not just for a sweat, but this can be someone's livelihood. Hence, we should take it seriously, even more serious than we ever did before. Help us, dear Lord, to be patient, to be willing to assist. Help us, dear Father, to remember that we only have one Dominica, and all of us must join hands together to ensure that Dominica becomes the best country to live, to work, and to enjoy life. Again, Lord, we ask blessings on those who will participate here in the studio and those who will call in. Bless them in a very special way. We ask it in Jesus' name.
Amen, brother. Let's give us a little song after that wonderful prayer, man.
Yeah. You've been in bondage too long. The devil has taken your soul. You've been so long in captivity. You've forgotten how, but you want to be free. Now God has come to break the power of the enemy right now. God is breaking the power of the enemy. God is breaking the power of the enemy. Yeah, right now. God is breaking the power of the enemy. God is breaking the power of the enemy. Always. The Because of the anointing, the yoke shall be broken. Oh, yeah. And the people shall be free. Those in darkness see a great light, and in the shadow of death, great light is shining. Yeah, this is your blessing from God. This is your blessing right now. The oppressed and the possessed are feeling free in the name of Jesus. I release the broken, the bound, and the captives in the name of Jesus Christ. That would breaking the power of the enemy. His blessing is on you. Hey, over you. Yeah, Lord have mercy. Right now. Call on God from where you are right now. You'll feel His stirring your heart.
Okay, good night. Lobby, good night.
Hi, how are you doing, man? How you keeping?
Good night, Lobby.
Hi, how are you keeping?
Yeah, we hearing you now. We hearing you. You hearing us?
Okay, I'm fine for now. Praise God.
Right.
We just had some bad weather a while ago, but it has passed, for now.
Okay, careful, stay safe, because all you bad weather, let one little wind and tree falling down, So
No, where I am, I'm very safe. Praise God.
Okay, goodbye, brother. Well, tonight we're going to be talking cycling. We'll have the champion cyclist Coaf Baron, the guy who was in Italy and who won that big race last Sunday. We're going to have a discussion with us. He'll be in studio. We also will speak to Ronald Charles. We're going to be joined by West Indies head coach Darren Sammy and Cricket West Indies director of cricket Miles Bascom. We'll have them from 7 o'clock. So all the people who have questions, they will be there, so you can ask them the questions yourself, because I'm sure people will want to know why certain people were dropped, why they were not selected, and so on. And guys, tomorrow, the big series starts tomorrow at 6 o'clock, at Headingley. India and England starts tomorrow morning. Also tonight, we could have an NBA champion tonight by 11 o'clock tonight. That could happen. By 11 o'clock tonight, we could have an NBA champion, because OKC leading 3-2. The finals is, the game 6 is tonight at 8:40. But while I'm saying that, let's hope. Dominica is a funny place, It is a week now, people struggling with television. Lobby, well, you don't have that problem. Ronald, all you see is nonsense. People cannot see television. You don't hear anything. In fact, I heard Richie Farrell say today, they said, call a toll-free number. When you call toll-free number, you don't get anybody. It puts you onto somebody else. And what I'm waiting to see, and I'm hoping Dominicans are strong enough that when the end of the month, tell Flo, well, wait now, we didn't have TV for a whole week. You must take out some money. So if they refuse, people must decide they're not paying. Because too often in this country, we're suffering a whole week. TV is a nonsense. You can't see TV, people at their home. What is that in Dominica? And they will go scot-free giving you toll-free number to call. And you can see. So I'm hoping, but the thing is on, we can see cricket tomorrow and in basketball tonight. I'm hoping they do something, because with a joke, somebody already want to call. Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you?
Bro.
You have the same problem?
No, let me tell you, I don't have the problem, but I was the only one who called and said something. Nobody followed me. Nobody.
But that's nonsense.
I did not have the problem. But I watching to see they'll pay all the money because they had an increase for this month. Let us watch and see.
Oh, yeah? They increase. I see. Nobody, real foolishness in this place, boy. People don't accept crap. Yeah, you're at your home, you can see your TV. Next caller, good evening.
Hello, Sibo, good night.
How are you?
I'm there.
Do you have the same problem? Do you have the same?
Same problem.
Yes,
Sibo,
sir.
I'm so upset. I want to see my basketball tonight, Sibo. Up to now, for a whole week. Nothing. That is frustration.
Of course it is, and they're not even coming out and say something. You know.
A woman was trying to say something over there. I myself
Why?
couldn't understand what she was saying.
Exactly.
So I hope they deduct from the bill, but that is something.
But they must know about what people should
Already
decide.
no?
A whole week since last weekend.
Oh my God, man!
You cannot
You
see
have to put
TV.
pressure on these people for them to get to know.
But of course, and I hoping people strong enough, and if they don't want, people don't decide not to pay, so they can't.
Yes,
Let them
man.
cut everybody. Let them. It's foolishness now with this place, man. I mean,
Okay.
yeah. Next caller. Look, it looks like a lot of people have that problem. Good evening. Yes, sir.
But we know the only one. I myself called them on whatever it is. I feel called Portsmouth. So you wait for the week. Right? Anyway, it came yesterday afternoon. My wife went to the Rose office yesterday. It came yesterday afternoon. A whole week. So we don't know. I myself called my name. It was registered there. But they didn't personally want to take my name, but my name was registered with them in the 1800. So I expect them to look and see what's happening. Because I have my record on my phone when I call them. Okay?
But that's foolishness. I mean, and they're not saying again, you toll-free number. When you call something answering you, tell you call this, all sorts of crap, man. Okay, thanks. Yeah, man, it's time to stand up, and we're tired of the suffering and at the mercy of these people, frustrating people. Look at that basketball tonight, 8:30, the NBA. People might be able to see it. Good evening.
Oh, yes, I laugh. I just see nothing there.
Bishop, you see what I mean? No TV. I mean, what is that? And the people not,
Since Saturday.
Since last week. Yeah, it's a whole week now. People cannot see anything at their home. Ronald? Yeah.
One of the interesting things with that, quite a number of people no longer have radios.
Right, exactly.
And they expect the radio stations to communicate with them over the television. So some people are in serious problem.
Yeah, it's not fair. And the classic is that they don't call. They don't even say, come out, come live. Don't send a voice note or read some foolishness. Come and tell people what is the problem. We'll take out $50 or whatever, something like that. But yeah. And it's like just do their nonsense and think they'll get away with it. Man, good evening.
Sibo,
yes.
I'm just saying, right now I cannot get radio.
Okay, right.
So I have no radio. I have no TV. Praise God, I have a radio in my room. So that is what I am using to hear news because there is nothing on the TV, Sibo.
Boy, that is frustrating.
A person don't have a radio. They're depending on,
Yeah.
nothing.
Yes, it's frustrating, man. And people just accept this thing there. Next caller, good evening.
Yes, Sibo, it's me again.
Yes.
Sibo, I always have deception. I don't know if it's because it's just internet alone I have, and my TV is running on YouTube.
Okay.
So I always have reception. But Sibo, you think whole week Lucille would not have reception on Night Island?
Yeah, but people quiet. That's what I'm saying. People suffering and they're quiet in Dominica. People suffering and they're quiet.
But the government agency that's responsible for supervising the flow and Digicel, they're not making any statement.
Exactly.
Making a statement that is accepted.
Yeah, let's take this caller. Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Dr. Fontaine, good evening. How are you, man?
Yes, I'm doing well.
Well, you are in the office. You are in the northeast of the island, right?
Sorry?
You are in the northeast of the island.
Yes. We are more specifically in the village of Woodford Hill.
Right. Well, tell us what happened today. Tell us what happened today.
Yes, so we came out here this afternoon, very early in the afternoon, and I've been going around talking to the farmers, talking to the people of Woodford Hill, and just, telling them about what the Workers' Party plan to do for them, and also advertising our town hall for tonight. But what it has done is has given us an opportunity to see for ourselves what a once proud farming community has become. Woodford was one of the more foremost countries in terms of villages, rather, in terms of agriculture, in terms of bananas and so on. But what we witnessed today is plantains literally rotting on the trees. people complain about lack of markets and the fact that, farming seems to be neglected. So that's giving us an opportunity to see, with our own eyes what's going on in one proud farming community. And that means our message becomes so much more relevant in terms of what we need to do, in terms of how we need to change this whole story around and make farming great again in Dominica. Make farming something that people can record, that they can stop seeing the wastage that we witness there in a once proud, village.
Yes, so you all only in Woodford, you didn't go to Wesley?
No, we focused on Woodford today, and actually we did Wesley on Saturday.
Okay.
So we had a similar walkthrough on Saturday in Wesley, and just focused on Woodford today. Yeah, because it's a very important part of the constituency,
right?
And I mean unique in the sense of what can be done in that village in terms of how we can begin to. And people are excited, we met a number of young people, even at that very early hour, a lot of young men on the block, and we were able to talk to them. And the frustration that we've witnessed there, just the heavy frustration of the young people, not having anything to do, not having any options, and in a way it is very heartbreaking when you walk into a place, into a village at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and you encounter 10, 15 young men just sitting around basically, and that's where they have been sitting all day, and they go home at night and come back next day to the same thing. Most likely sometimes, so it is very heartbreaking to see, what the young people have, on offer under this current regime.
Yes,
so
Thompson.
What these meetings are doing and what those engagements have done for us, it has given us a better appreciation of the work we need to do to get rid of this administration and to bring meaningful change to Dominica.
Yes, Thompson. Based on your engagements in Wesley on Saturday and in Woodford today, I would expect that you would have had a first-hand view of the airport project. What's your opinion of that project?
Yes, correct. Well, there's a lot of mixed feelings. The one that is the hardest for the people is the fact that they have been literally shut out of it. They've been shut out of the project in the sense that not enough people within the village have found work on the project. That's one. The second one is that a number of house owners and landowners who are complaining that either they have not received any compensation or they're not sure what is happening. We met someone on the edge of the hotel of the airport who are not sure if their properties will be taken away from them because nobody is talking to them. So there's a lot of confusion. And you would think that with a project of this magnitude, that would have been well worked out, that people would have been properly compensated. And you also have the inequalities. We met one lady who told us that she was right next to another person, and because she's not supporting the government, what she got in terms of compensation was a fraction of what her neighbor got. And she has a lot more property, a lot more crops was there, but she got a lower valuation than her neighbor who supports the government. So, it is so frustrating.
Well, let me ask you that, Dr. Fountain.
Everything on the basis, yeah.
Let me ask you, what you just said there, can somebody not go to court in that if you have property, somebody has less property than you, got more money than you, couldn't you take that up and legally?
Well, I would think so because, that discrimination makes absolutely no sense. It should not be so subjective. There should be a criteria that is clear, that everyone understands. If it is X amount per acre of cultivated land, it should be that for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That idea that you are discriminating because you believe that people are not supporting you is complete nonsense. Mm-hmm. And some of the homeowners themselves are complaining that some of their properties, because they seem not to be supporting the government, it does appear as if they're taking longer to get compensated. There's more uncertainty and so on. And to me, this is quite shocking and shameful at the same time. So these are the kind of issues that we've been listening to. and we've been able to communicate, to us, have been communicated to us. And it just shows that we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do.
So where is the meeting tonight? Where exactly is the meeting tonight?
So the meeting is taking place at the Free Road. It is the preschool, a very nice building. We already set up there at the Free Road in Woodford.
Okay.
So the people in Woodford, Wesley, who are listening, just come up to Free Road. It's a well-known area there in the village of Woodford. It will also be carried live on Facebook and social media from 7 o'clock tonight. So
and it will be on 295 after we leave here at 8 o'clock, right?
That is correct. From 8 to 9, it will be on Q95. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, all the best. I hope that things work out for you all and everything work out nicely. Thank you.
Yes. Thanks. Appreciate the opportunity.
Right. Thanks, guys. Guys, before we take the break, we just want to say, tell Donald be strong. His wife was buried this week, Ronald. I know you were there. I couldn't go because I had other engagements. So, Donald, good night. People, St. Davis, good night as well. I hope everything is okay. So, Donald, don't be strong. I know it's a tough time. In fact, he himself had a little issue, Donald, as you would know. So, I think he's okay now. So, let us say, Ozzy, good night. Hold on, Lobby. Ozzy, good night. Havis, all the older folks. We don't want to say old people because we don't say old people. We say the older folks. People like Havis and Ozzy and Dodol and that sort of thing. And people who are sick, we want to say good night to all of them, all the fans in Collyho and Portsmouth, Village Joseph, good night. Pat Cobbett, Gerald Cobbett, all the people everywhere. Good night. Ann and Hezo in Salisbury, Wavell, good night. Everywhere. So we can't call everybody. So I think we have a caller. Let's take the caller before we take the first break. Lobby, yeah, go ahead. Doctor, 1 minute, Lobby. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes.
Gentlemen.
Good evening.
I know that you have cricket and when Sammy and Mr.
Sammy and Mike Bascom here.
Come, I won't have time, but I just calling to congratulate South Africa for a well done victory over Australia.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
South Africa is calling the chokers, but they didn't check that time around.
Okay, no problem. No problem. Lobby, yeah, go ahead.
Yes, Tibai, I want to extend condolences to Dan, the pharmacist in Mahako.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Very good friend of mine, Sebastian. I was shocked when I heard about his passing.
Oh, you mean Dan? The pharmacist, yeah. Dan,
yeah, Sibo. I wasn't aware he was alien and he died at the hospital.
Well, I saw Dan about 3 weeks ago and my mom's and he was okay. I saw him about 3 weeks ago. But that's it, Lobby now, nowadays you see people and next thing you just hear.
I know, so just showing you that we are just passing look at passing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, we're going to take our first break because we expect the champion cyclist to be in studio, Coav Baron. Before we go, I just want to tell listeners that if you want pain relief rub, there's a big room now at Quick Care Pharmacy. They just reopened. Go there and you get all your rub from Dr. Maffa. Quick Care, pain relief rub. We'll take our first break now.
So key matter is you can just walk in and order all your chicken parts wholesale and even enjoy retail. It's at AC Shillingford. All chicken parts available that you can afford. Fresh breast. And you know breast is best. Shillingford wings have muscle. After you eat it, you can fly. As for Shillingford chicken drumsticks, even swinging stars just order drumsticks from Shillingford. And for those of you who love Pull, AC Shillingford keeps your belly full. Buy your chicken wholesale at AC Shillingford. From wings to thighs to drums to breasts to backs to necks. It's available. It's always available and it's affordable. Plus you've got pork feet, ham and turkey, bull foot, chicken nuggets, pepperoni, all those right seasonings to make your kitchen keep on ticking. Buy your wholesale chicken at AC Shillingford. When you think of chicken, think of AC Shillingford. Always ready.
The New India Insurance Company has reopened its doors in Portsmouth, offering the same great services you get in Roseau. Motor vehicle insurance, home and business owners, fire and related perils, public liability, and so much more. Come, visit us today for insurance with a personal touch on Bay Street, Portsmouth, or call us at 445-4023. We are ready to serve you. When you want the what you do? Shop at SCA. Better than the rest. Go shop at SCA. And they all compare. Shop at SCA. You get more for what they say. Shop at SCA. Shop at SCA. Yeah. Shop at SCA. Shop at SCA. What they say. Shop at SCA. SCA's family, customer friendly. With free locations, it's so convenient. And our prices. Madam, that's where you belong. Oh, tell your mama, tell your papa, shop at SCA. Tell your son and your daughter, shop at SCA. Auntie, nan, and cousin, friend, open power, all of them. My grandpa, open neighbor, girlfriend, boyfriend, side, what? Shop at SCA. Shop at SCA. Shop at SCA. Shop at SCA. Check us out at Pottersville, High Street, and downtown Rose. Quiet, relaxing place to stay? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Leaving the office late and need somewhere close to town? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Business clients coming in and need accommodation? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Looking for group accommodation? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Located at 37 Goodwill Road in Portersville, upstairs ACS Supermarket. Enjoy our semi-self-contained rooms with private washroom, bathroom, Wi-Fi, air condition, cable network, mini refrigerator, all in a non-smoking environment. Call or WhatsApp at 1767-275-1899 or email us at info@pottersplaceguesthouse.com to make your reservations. Potter's Place, your home away from home. Fit for a king, a queen, and all their royal subjects.
Yes, while we wait, Lobby on Co-op Baron, he's running a little late. He should join us in a while. But we, as you say, we have to salute Tembu Bafuma, Lobby, the South African captain, for winning the World Test Championship. It was very nice.
Yes.
Because, you know, one thing he said, though, I like, he said that he hoped that will bring a divided country together. Because, as you know, black people still struggle in South Africa. Still struggling. Black people, they still struggle. In fact, I remember, yeah, go ahead, Lobby.
Yeah, I was very happy for South Africa, especially for Mavuba, the captain. I say Mandela must be very happy where he is there.
In his
Looking at
grave.
this, a black man, you know, in charge. That was part of his dream for South Africa.
Although, Lobby, the black people still in minority. In fact, I remember Vivian Richards saying to me, you know, he had offered $1 million to go and he turned it down. And he was saying to me, even if Mandela was the president, the white people still control all the diamonds and gold, so they still were not in control. In fact, when you look at the team, only 3 or 4 people of African descent in that team, in the South African team now. Only 3 or 4 people. You have Bavuma, the 2 symbolers, and the left-hand spinner Maharaj. Well, Indians are really black people. Anyway, there's a caller. Good evening.
Good evening, gentlemen. How you all doing?
Very good.
But Trump got a couple, maybe around 2 or 3 dozens of white South Africans to come to America and say they were getting brutalized in South Africa by the black people. Like they couldn't plan, they couldn't go on their land. So Trump gave them asylum in America. You see that?
Yes, of course I saw that. But that guy, Trump.
I said, Lord have mercy. And then the following week now, the president was there and they had a word to and see what nonsense that went on there. Lord have mercy, boy. We're still in a sorry state in that world we live in there.
Look, I see.
Gentlemen, I'm listening.
Thank you. Look, I see Lobby saying giving Iran 2 weeks before he decide to come to take or to come with Israel. But you know, Trump and them really believe people foolish. So everybody knows is America behind Israel in that thing. People not foolish. I mean, America, I'm sure they're behind all this bombing that's going on in Iran there now. It can't be Israel alone. A lot of so to say now they're giving Iran 2 weeks, he's hoping by 2 weeks they'll have obliterated Iran. That's what he's hoping, that Israel will have done that in 2 weeks' time. But yeah, going back to that lobby, it was nice to see they beat Australia. In fact, I got watching something there now. Australia look like they're going to have a new. They're going to bring in the young guy Constas to open the batting, and it looks like they're going to drop Labuschagne for the test which starts next week Wednesday. So that alone is something, because Stephen Smith, not even sure if he's going to play. He has this finger problem. We just want to say that we're still waiting on the cyclist, Coaf Baron. He's running a little late. Supposed to have been in here already. So we're just having a discussion before that. There was football lobby. I heard they had some problems locally in a clash on a football match where there was a little violence. That's not something we want to encourage around here at all. So I hope the Football Association is on top of it, on top of that.
Yes, there's something very interesting happening in football, especially junior football, where Jacques Faustin, in collaboration with Del Najis, is running a footballers development program. They're not only concentrating on getting the guys to develop their football skills, but also focusing on academic skills, ensuring that they go to school, ensuring that they have all the equipment to go to school. And I think that's a very, very good gesture for young people.
Well, Del Najis, as you know, continues to assist Ronald at all levels. They assisted national team. A lot of Geoff has that program in the Newton area, where last week he made a donation on behalf of Del Najis of exercise books and water bottles, all these sort of things. So Del Najis is a very good corporate sponsor, corporate business, you'll say, Dominica, a business that assists all and sundry. Lobby, you were going to say something?
Yes, Sebastian, on football. Don't forget, there is CONCACAF Gold Cup football taking place right now.
Who's playing tonight, by the way? Who's playing tonight?
I know Jamaica is playing Haiti later tonight.
Didn't they play one of these nights and did they win against Guatemala? Did they play?
They lost 1-0.
To whom?
To Guatemala. I think they lost 1-0.
Serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
But so far, I look at Dominica Republic,
Mm-hmm.
they have improved. They have improved a great deal in their football. Sebastian, what they have done, they have gone out to look for players, not just people who are playing in major leagues. And this is what in Dominica, this is what they are not doing in Dominica. You cannot depend everywhere bringing overseas players.
Yeah, but what we have to ask is whether you have do we have the quality of overseas players?
But Sebastian, the first thing you have to do, you have to shop. They say you have to shop around. You have to years ago, when I was involved in the football, we brought down 4 players who were top players in the English league, and they help our football a lot. You have to shop around. You have leagues around. You have second division, first division in England. You have to look around. You have to shop around. You understand? Shop around. We have embassies. We have consulates here and there. There are things we have to do. We are not the only country. All other countries they are doing it. Why can't we do it?
Yeah, but the coach said in the last 2 games they brought in 4 foreign players.
From foreign players, from 4 foreign.
Dominicans living abroad.
Yeah, I'm talking about quality now. I am talking about Landa. I'm looking for quality. When you're looking for quality players, look in major leagues. Look and see what, because it's very, very important for us to move our goalposts to get to that level to CONCACAF Gold Cup. All right? Because all the teams are improving. These teams are improving.
Look back, I am of the firm opinion that seeing that they brought in 4 foreign players, they explored different areas to get better players.
Huh?
They explored different areas to get better players. But that's what they that was what available to them. That's what was available, so they brought in those foreign players. What we need to do, we have a lot of work to do on our football in Dominica.
Besides that, Landa.
Besides what?
Yes, we have to improve, but what I'm telling you is this. Look, Jamaica football is bigger than ours, the league. And yet still, they bring in players who are playing in the MLS, players playing in Europe to help their football. That's
In
what I'm
fact,
saying.
Jamaica, 80 or 90% of the team is foreign guys who play outside of Jamaica. Most of the
Right,
team.
and they have Sebastian. Their league is much bigger than our league.
Yes, yes, Slow Black. There are Jamaicans playing in the Premier League all over the world. Are there Dominicans playing in the Premier League? And I gave the
Brother, I have
Dominican
to shop
coach,
around.
but they did that. So they brought in 4
They
players.
haven't got anything as yet. Everybody did
Okay.
what? All this coach was talking about. If you bring fellas from over, it's very important. Our league is very poor. What we have, it is very poor, very poor.
Well, I guess the Football Associate listen to you a little bit, so I guess they respond.
Look, Sebastian. Let me tell you something, Sebastian. You know what I do not like here in the Dom. We can criticize. We criticize the West Indies board. We criticize here and there. But some people feel like we should not say anything about what happened in Dominica football. That's not fair at all. All right, it's very important. Since PJ left, we have dropped. Our ranking has dropped considerably. It has dropped.
Well, Lobby, probably we don't have the players now like we had before.
Sebastian, let me tell you something, Sebastian. You have more money available right now than when PJ was there. And yes, still we had a higher standard. We are competing in more football than before. What has happened to us?
The major problem in our football is the conversion of the Windsor Park into a cricket stadium. You had how many teams from Roseau and environs playing cricket? You had around football. You had around 2 free fellas, 2 teams from Roseau. You have Kensborough, Blue Stars, you had Saints, you had Spartans. How many teams? All those teams have disappeared. And we've started now from ground zero to build up. So I firmly believe as a consequence of transforming the Windsor Park into a stadium, football has suffered.
Okay, guys.
Additional to that, the technical wing, where the grammar school guys used to play, there is no longer a technical wing.
Okay, guys, we have with us in the studio our cycling champion. He's a little late, but the important thing, he's in studio. And we want to say good night to you, sir. Well, tell listeners who you are. You must be shy.
Well, I'm 22 Baron.
Can you get closer to the mic?
Yeah, he's right by the mic. Yeah,
I am 22-year-old Kwaf Baron from Granby.
Right, 12. Your father is also a cyclist, right?
Yes, he is.
He's your coach, or what?
Yes, he is.
Right. Last weekend, they had this grueling race. 70 miles it was?
64.
64 miles. Riding, you mean from Roseau to Portsmouth. Well, tell us when the race started and where.
Okay, so the race route was basically from Roseau to the roundabout Portsmouth, back into town, bridge in, bridge out through town, back down to the roundabout Kinfield and end at Marboy.
My goodness, that is tough. How many hours that took?
Well, it took me 3 hours and 42 minutes.
3 hours and non-stop riding? You don't take a break, no break, nothing?
No.
Wow. No, but that is tough. To ride from Roseau to Portsmouth, going up some of these hills, that had to be tough. But let me ask you, do you take water break and this thing, no?
Yeah, I mean, you must drink water.
Mm-hmm.
I had a team car. So anytime I asked for water, they would come up on the side of me and give me water.
My goodness,
What training programs, COAF, are you interested in? Are you involved in? Are you interested in? Be it technical or psychological? Because you've got to be very fit and you've got to have that mental capacity to ride for so long.
Yeah, I mean, cycling is a lot more mental than physical. You have to be physically fit, physically strong, but the mental aspect of it, it's really tough, especially the climbing aspect to cycling. It's really tough mentally. It's like sometimes you want to stop and, so sorry, I got sidetracked.
Yeah. Take your time. Yeah.
Yeah, so mentally, it's really hard. Well, to me as a cyclist, it's harder than physically.
But going back to that race,
Question.
the one thing going back to that race on Sunday, was anybody close when you ran? You won the race. How many people were close to you from the people coming up at the back? How many people?
Well, not really close. I think I beat second place by 22 or 23 minutes.
Wow! So that means when you got there, they probably were still in Canefield or something like that.
Yeah. When I made the wrong in town bridge in Bridgeout, I caught them at the roundabout in Kinfield coming back.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody, you're going to ask a question.
Yes, Cobra. Tell the public what's your mileage like per week? Because a cyclist, first of all, is like a long distance runner who has to put in a lot of mileage per week. So because because what they have to understand, you have to be on the road regularly, doing a lot of cycling. So what's your mileage like per week?
Well, right now it's not that high right now because I do a lot of indoor training intervals. So
Stationary
it's not.
bike?
Yeah, it's like a trainer inside that I put my road bike on.
Okay,
And
I know.
there's an app. I use the app and it has structured training. So I do the structured training twice or 3 times a week. And then the rest I just ride easy or tempo on the road.
Because yeah, you just said about indoor, but knowing that the terrain here is very mountainous. So
Yeah.
how often you do the indoor and the outdoor training?
Well, as I said, the indoor is basically 2 or 3 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
That would be
How long it lasts in
mainly.
indoor? How long?
Well, the trainings are like an hour, but they are very intense trainings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when I go out on the road, it would be more like a recovery endurance type of ride.
Do you are you very selective in the route you use for the outdoor?
Yes. It's all it all has to do with the training I previously did. Then I would gauge a route to suit that training. Because if I did a hard training the day before, then my next training shouldn't be that hard, even though I go out on the road. And there's a lot of climbs or something, I should not be riding hard.
Let me ask you, Kof. You were in Italy recently. How long did you spend up there?
Colombia.
Colombia, you were?
Yeah.
When you're doing your training, how long were you up there for?
I was in Colombia for 2 months.
Well, tell us how it went. What did you do up there?
Well, firstly, the training. What made the training really hard was the altitude. I was living at like 5,300 feet above sea level, and that is like very new to me because Dominica, we're very low to sea level.
Well, that's comparatively speaking.
Yeah, because the oxygen level, it's really low.
Top up there. Top.
Yeah. Sometimes I was riding and I was like almost 8,000 feet, and breathing got really hard at that level.
Oh yes, I know.
So that was something I had to adjust to weeks. I had to adjust to it. I did some training, some an indoor trainer, some professional to judge my fitness and VO2 max and stuff. And for being in that altitude for my first time, they thought that it was really impressive. So yeah, I just did what the coach tell me to do. I mean, when I come back down to sea level, it's a bit easier because the air is more thin up in Colombia. So right now I can train harder with the same power.
So how often? Oh, hold on, we have a caller. Good evening. Good evening. Caller. How often did you train in Colombia?
Well, I had 1 to 2 days off the bike for the week, so 5 or 6 times
a week.
Yeah.
And how long? How many hours per day?
Max was like 4 to 5 hours.
So what did the training entail? Tell us about like the coach. You and a coach was assigned to you, right?
Yeah.
So what would you all do when you get there? What? Explain to us.
Well, when I arrived, he basically he brought me on the track. There's a track indoor track. That's a different aspect to cycling. He brought me there, see how I am on the bike. He made me go out on the road. I have a computer on my bike. He watched my stats and stuff. So basically, the first week, 2.5 weeks, he was basically just watching my stats, seeing like what type of rider I am and stuff. And after that, he started giving me like intervals and stuff like that to boost my VO2 max in cycling, because as a cyclist, you need to have a good VO2 max, especially in racing. So yeah, that's how we gauged it. He gave me my VO2 max training when I had to do easy rides. He gave me easy rides when I had to do long rides. He gave me long rides. So yeah, that was basically it.
You're now 22 years. You're going to be 23 later this year in October. How many years have you been riding for?
Okay, that's a good question. I have been riding 14, turning 15, but I haven't been riding at that level, like training that much. I really started training at 18 years. So although I started at 14, but it was just a little thing. And I mean, at 15, 16, I was already winning all the races here, but I wasn't really training as I am now. But the training really started at 18 years.
Yeah, that's very good. And that's a good example for the young people, that a young man like you could dominate cycling in Dominica. You were also involved in other regional and international games. Can you tell us about some of those games? For example, in Antigua and Barbuda, in Bahamas.
Yeah. But every time I go out, I always try to do my best. For me, my sponsors, my family. For Dominica, because when I win, it's Dominica. They talk about the young cyclists from Dominica. So I always try to put my best foot forward when I go out. I mean, the international races I do, it's really hard because I mean I go up against basically professionals,
I know that.
and I on my own. And some people don't really understand cycling as a team sport. They more see it as like, yeah, ride the bike and stuff like that. But
Okay.
it's like it's a
But
team
in terms
sport.
of the regional competitions in Antigua and Barbuda and the Bahamas,
Yeah, they
I
don't
start to
have that
excel.
much. They don't have much that big teams.
So you're able to excel there quite easily.
Yeah, so even though they are strong riders,
Yeah.
but they are not much team to work against me in the race.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Coach, let me ask you, the Tour de France is the elite riding in the world. I
World Tour.
do you have any aspiration? Do you aspire to be there one day in France, riding in the Tour de France?
Yeah, of course. That's any cyclist dream.
So what has to be done for you to get there? Tell us, what has to be done for you to get there?
A lot of-
spot.
Right.
a
So
lot
you
of
don't
it.
think you're ready yet to run in that race?
No.
So how many years again you think you have to do before you get there in the Tour de France?
I cannot judge it based on a timeline. I would more say, if I get the proper, how should I say it? Like just the proper exposure where I could like further race with a team, like for an extended period, then I would see myself really getting where I want to get inside.
So when you say a team, what do you mean? Explain that.
Yeah,
a team. You say you get with a team.
Well, cycling is not like okay, it's not like cricket,
Right.
where you have like different teams in the Caribbean and
Right.
so
Changes, yeah.
the teams you would want to get on is like the teams, European teams and stuff like that. But to get on those teams, you have to be doing like high caliber type of races and stuff so that the coaches would see you. That's why I try as much to go out in the international races. So if I could do at least like top 5 or top 10 or something in an international race outside a big race, then coaches' eyes would be on me and it would be a bit easier.
Is that something you have discussed with your President Ronald Charles and other executive members to see if they can assist you to get to other races to help you to develop?
Yeah. That's something we've been trying. I just haven't been lucky enough. I know I put in the work, but I haven't been lucky enough to get that shine as yet. But it will come. It will come in due time.
Yeah, Psycho has nominated you as a brand ambassador.
Yeah.
What kind of support do you get from them? Because it links up with what Sebastian just asked there, with the association in collaboration with the local sponsors to allow you to get that kind of exposure because you're still very young.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you seem to be clear in your mind what you want to do.
Yeah.
So you need to be encouraged.
Yeah. Sajiko, I always thank them. They've always been since they started. Shout out to Auntie, Mrs. Cheryl.
She's your auntie.
No, he's not saying that.
Oh, she's my cousin.
Out of respect, he's saying auntie, out of respect.
Yeah. A huge thank you to her. She actually took me in and really got me to be the brand ambassador. And I really thank her. Sajiko helped me throughout the time they started, financially. So it's really good, and to help me out financially, that's a big thing because cycling is a very expensive sport, really expensive. So for them to be helping me financially, I really appreciate it from them.
Lobby, you were going to ask a question. Go ahead.
Yes, I have a few questions for Cooper.
Well, we have to speed up because
I know. First of all, yes. First of all, having been in Colombia, you said because I understand that in terms of the air, getting yourself acclimatized. Yeah. Did they give you any, for example, any vitamin C tablets up there?
Well, I actually went up with all my supplements.
Okay, because so from this training in Colombia, all right, in terms of looking
Robbie,
forward.
hold that question a while. I think we have Ronald Charles on the line. Let us hear him. Ronald, are you there?
Yes, good evening, gentlemen.
Quickly, your ace cyclist is right there.
Very impressive guy.
Yeah, your ace cyclist. What would you like to say? He's right there.
Again, sorry?
I say your ace cyclist is right there with us. So, what would you like to say to him?
Hello?
Ronald, are you hearing us? Are you hearing us?
Hello?
Are you hearing us?
Yes, I'm hearing you now. Go ahead.
Right. Well, Co-op is in the studio.
Oh, yes. Let me say good evening to, of course, the host of the program, Mr. Sebastian, and your co-host, of course, and good evening to the national champion, Co-op Baron, and all your listeners and all the other persons tuned in to the big station.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's here. I mean, he just won that grueling race last week, and I'm sure you were happy. Were you happy for him?
Say that again, sorry?
I said he won that grueling race last week, 70 miles. I'm sure you were happy for him.
Of course. And I believe the other thing about it is that there were quite a number of other persons who participated in this race. Of course, Gitson Marius, the Asian guy, participated. Stefan Carbon participated, and of course, Mr. Green. And the veteran side of things, although 30% of them did not make it. But it was a tough race, and congratulations to all those young people who participated. Of course, congratulations to Co-op Baron for at least, doing very well in that race.
Ron Charles, what my loud thinking is, you've got to create success stories. And Co-op Baron seems to be on the right track. What plans and programs that you all have right now in the Athletic Association to ensure the continuous development of Co-op?
Okay, well, one would say we have a holistic approach towards the whole developmental program for cycling. And it's not just for one individual, for all cyclists and for all persons interested in getting into the sport. One of the things that we believe that we
put it in place, and we are on track for this, is we want to ensure that the issues of coaching are taken on board, or coaching, mechanical stuff, mechanics get the necessary training, and commercials. The reason why I say this is because when your bike have a problem, you need somebody to be able to fix it locally. Over the past couple of weeks, notwithstanding one or two persons like we could say Beck-Day or even Levi Baron and Daddy Chess and our General Secretary, Mr. Prosper, trying their best to do what they can on the bikes. I had to send my bike to go out to be repaired because some of the technical things we still haven't, we don't reach there yet. So these are the developmental areas. We're also targeting, and we're really interested in doing this, the schools and the primary schools, because we believe at that age it is really a good time to start with the cyclists. So we're looking at it like from this, but we're also trying our best now to start to approach from a policy perspective where we can get the government authorities involved in the cycling.
Very good, very good.
More involved. Because what we are seeing is that cycling, you need the equipment, you need the tools, you need what you need to move forward. And of course, to get the sport onto the next level, everybody must be on board. The association must be on board. DOC must be on board. The government institutions must be on board. The sports division must be on board, so that we can get what it takes to bring this sport to the next level. Okay. The other thing that we believe that is important and we're paying attention to is safety. We are now starting to think on issues surrounding where can we get a piece of land or something that we can create a safe haven, so that young people, especially the BMX and those below 5 years and so forth, can use and utilize and get that love and passion for the sport. And we think once we start doing this and developing of the clubs, once we start doing those things, we will get much more persons involved in the sport, and I believe we'll go places.
Okay, Ronan, we don't want to keep you. We know you have an engagement in Woodford Hill. Thank you for joining us. We're going to wrap up with Co-op. We want to get him. He was a bit late, through no fault of his, so we'll try and get him back there. So thank you for joining us. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the opportunity. God bless.
All right. Co-op quickly, because we have two other gentlemen, Darren Sammy and Miles Bascom, will soon be joining us. As we wind up, we hope you can come and join us again, because a young guy like you with so much promise, we would like to get more from you and hear from you. So what is your next move after this last Sunday? What next for you?
Well, what's next for me is the Jaunty in Anguilla in July. It's the 4th to the 6th.
So you're preparing for that right now?
Yeah.
Oh, do you learn from Dominica will be going?
No. I will be taking part in the elite, but there's people like Daddy Chess and my father. Mm-hmm. Maybe Ronald take part in the Masters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So we'll let you go. We'll be in touch with you. So we want to wish you the best. Continue your training. You're an ace. You're a champion. We want to congratulate you for your feat last week. Okay?
Thank you.
All the best, Co-op. Nice meeting you close up.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, man.
All right.
Take care. We'll take a break now and right now.
Shop at the better than the rest. Go shop at the and they all compare. Shop at the you get more for what they say. Shop at the shop at the yeah. Shop at the shop at the what they say. Shop at the yes family, customer friendly, with free locations. It's so convenient, and our price is Madam, that's where you belong. Oh, tell your mama, tell your papa, shop at SDA. Tell your son and your daughter, shop at SDA. And the nan and cousin friend, open power, all of them. Open neighbor, girlfriend, boyfriend, side. Shop at SDA. Shop at SDA. Shop at SDA. Shop at SDA. Check us out at Pottersville, High Street, and downtown Rose. The New India Insurance Company has reopened its doors in Portsmouth, offering the same great services you get in Roseau. Motor vehicle insurance, home and business owners, fire and related perils, public liability, and so much more. Come, visit us today for insurance with a personal touch on Bay Street, Portsmouth, or call us at 445-4023. We are ready to serve you.
Or you, where in Roseau, Kimashadis, you can just walk in and order all your chicken parts, wholesale, and even enjoy retail. It's at AC Shillingford, all chicken parts available that you can afford fresh breast. And you know breast is best. Shillingford wings have muscle. After you eat it, you can fly. As for Shillingford chicken drumsticks, even swinging stars just order drumsticks from Shillingford. And for those of you who love Risapul, AC Shillingford keeps your belly full. Buy your chicken wholesale at AC Shillingford. From wings to thighs to drums to breasts to backs to necks, it's available. It's always available and it's affordable. Plus, you've got pork feet, ham and turkey, bull foot, chicken nuggets, pepperoni, all those right seasonings to make your kitchen keep on ticking. Buy your wholesale chicken at AC Shillingford. When you think of chicken, think of AC Shillingford. Always fresh.
Looking for a quiet, relaxing place to stay? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Leaving the office late and need somewhere close to town? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Business clients coming in and need accommodation? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Looking for group accommodation? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Located at 37 Goodwill Road in Portersville, upstairs ACS Supermarket. Enjoy our semi-self-contained rooms with private washroom, bathroom, Wi-Fi, air condition, cable network, mini refrigerator, all in a non-smoking environment. Call or WhatsApp at 1767-275-1899 or email us at info@portersplaceguesthouse.com to make your reservations. Porter's Place, your home away from home. Fit for a king, a queen, and all their royal subjects.
Okay, we are back, gentlemen, and we have with us royalty. The West Indies coach, not often you get a chance to speak to him, so we have him right with us tonight, Mr. Darren Sammy. Good night, coach.
Good night, Manage. Good night.
All right. And we have two other gentlemen who will be asking Ronald Lanier, two of them, and Emmanuel Loblack, co-host. So Mike hasn't joined yet. I expect to see him anytime now. So how things? Good night. How are you, man?
Boss, ça qu'a fait non more. On l'a côté bœuf.
Manage qui know the lot nom na ye?
Ronald Landa et puis Emmanuel Loblack. Yeah. Right. So Darren, I know you, coach, sorry. You in Barbados. I know the camp has started. How are things going on so far?
Yeah, things are going on really, really well. I'm excited about this series. I must admit, the squad that we've selected, to see the guys, the volume of work that we've been putting in the camp, especially watching, the batsmen go about doing their work, the skill work that we've been doing, and the plans that we are putting in place. And today we just finished our second game sense training, where it's a full day of training, like a full test match day. Started from 9:30 and finished at 5 o'clock. With the lunchtime, the tea time sessions being adhered just as it was in Test cricket. So I love what I'm seeing. I'm excited, to be part of my first Test match as a coach. And I'm more excited for the players that we're gonna have on display. And so I hope to God everything goes according to plan.
Let me ask you though, for people listening out there, like a camp next week Wednesday, the first test. What sort of activities do you do?
So look, I try to encourage guys. When you come on tour, most of the the bulk of the work should be done before. Man, as you played the game,
Yes.
you would understand the hard work really is behind the scenes before you start on tour. When you come on tour, you look to top up, your skills. But because we're trying to take away from that, but since I've been here, and I see Director Miles come on board. Every time we've had time to prepare in the Caribbean, we often turn out much better. And I didn't go to most of my staff didn't go to Ireland, and most of the players that are in the squad, assembled here from the 11th, just to with the mindset of putting in some tactical and technical work in before the series. So the schedule normally is 2 days hard training. The recovery period is quite important. We do that and we go again, and building up to the next the 4 days before the test match manage. You don't want, you try to load up the guys to the point that they reach the maximum.
Correct.
And then you start preparing them for the game. So that's what we've been doing, because people tend to forget you train 3 days in a row before a test match, looking to play 5 days. That's 7 days of activity without recovery. So it's something we pay close attention to. And again, today was tough, but the energy and the effort. I always tell the guys, you don't need talent to give out effort.
In fact, I will ask you a question just now. I heard you make a mention of Shama Joseph, but we've now been joined by the professor himself.
Yes, that's right.
Mr. Mike Bascom. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening to you. Good evening to your listeners.
Yes, I know you're enjoying some corporate relaxation session in St. Louis now, getting Darren jealous, eating a lot of mangoes and so on, right?
Don't say that. Don't tell him that.
Yes, a few days away from the office. But yeah, it's good to be home. Yeah, definitely having some mangoes.
Yeah, but I'm sure even if you're on vacation, you're still on top of things. I mean, there's a big ceremony on Sunday night, plus the test match starts next Wednesday, right?
Yes. Definitely. It's always a little bit of a walking vacation. I mean, you can't completely get away. There's so much really to get done, and so much happening and coming up. So yeah, always one hand on things, but it's still a little step down from going full on at the office.
Okay. Coach, I heard you make a point about the spirit enthusiasm of Shama Joseph and camp. How have you been looking? Because to be honest, I have found that to me he had lost some pace. I'm being honest. Since Australia, when he had this wonderful thing, off late I noticed his pace has gone down. Tell us about what you have seen so far in the camp.
Yeah, he's looking good, and I'm not gonna just stay there. It's conversations me and the director have had, and the plans we put in place for him. Putting overs in his legs and getting him to a point that he could have that form that we first saw in his debut season. And if you go, what we did, we went back to see how we prepared him. From the first class season, he went to South Africa on an A-team tour preparing for that, and then got overs in his legs. But since that test debut, he's been more in white ball cricket, where you don't get to bowl. Maximum you'll get to bowl is probably 10 overs. So we deliberately didn't include him in the T20 series against England. Sent him down to play that A-team game.
Right.
Yeah, to make sure we start building those overs in his legs to get him match ready to bowl, 90 overs in a day, 5 bowlers or so, 15 overs at least from the fast bowlers. So we've been conditioning him, and he's one of the bright sparks for me in this camp so far.
Very good.
Seeing him getting back to his rhythm, moving the ball at pace. And again, that's why I said at the top of the show, I'm really excited about this first test, in Barbados.
Very good. Let me ask, maybe the director can answer that. the last series Kima Roach played in Pakistan, not been included, and when the release was made of the team, there's no statement made about him. Director, you care to comment?
You didn't even give me a chance to warm up, man. But again, I mean, what I'll say is that Kima has been excellent for West Indies. And we had the conversation with him. We spoke to him. We let him know the direction that we wanted to go. And it was no slight on what he has done for West Indies cricket, right? But again, we are planning World Test Championship 27 on to 29. And at some point we have to be able to really put down some markers that we are planning for the future, right? So yes, it wasn't the easiest of conversations to have, and it's difficult in one breath to tell someone that you're moving on, but in the same breath try to get them to understand that that it's no slight on their contribution to West Indies cricket. But as I said, I just wanted to ensure that we had that conversation early out of respect for what he did. So myself, the head coach, we were part of that discussion. But yeah, I think that at some point we had to move on, and at the start of a new Test Championship, I think it's a good a time as any.
Yes. Who constitutes the selection panel of the West Indies team?
There is no selection panel per se. What we do is that we try to align ourselves on strategy. So the head coach, myself, our senior talent manager, and other members of the management team who are whose input is valued. We try to have a consensus around strategy. And then that is basically what we try to do. We try to get ourselves aligned around strategy, and then we look at the roles based on that strategy, and then the names, the personnel basically align themselves to those roles based on what they have done, what they have produced, what they have shown they can produce, and pretty much the head coach does have the final say. But I don't know that he can say that he has had to really wave that around too much.
Yeah, because there are two situations that I want to raise that the selection panel dealt with. We've got the situation of Kavem Hodge, who was nominated for the Cricket West Indies Players Association Award, Test Player of the Year of 2024. He's not on the team. There's another area where with the breakout league, you had the under-19 captain, Stefan Pascal, who was left out. So I want you to elaborate on that, who selected the players for the breakout league and the rationale behind nominating a guy for Test Cricketer of the Year 2024 by Cricket West Indies Players Association, and being left out of the team.
I'll start with the breakout league, since that one is a little bit easier, because that selection is handled by the territorial boards. So that was squarely on the part of the territorial boards to select the members of that within the criteria that was laid out for that tournament. In terms of Kavem, I mean, I'm a big Kavem fan. He's a hard worker. But the Weeper Awards and the selection, they are in no way related, right? And of course, Kavem scored that memorable 100 in England, which even with the performance of the team in England, you have to, in fact, probably because of the performance of the overall team, it makes that 100 stands out so much more. So I definitely have no issues with him being recognized, for that performance and for his performance over the year. But again, that doesn't have any bearing on the selection of the squad.
Yeah. Okay. I want to ask a question there. Last week, I was listening to Sports Back, and I heard this commentator, I think Nickel, whatever his surname is, and he made mention that he went to Jamaica, the pitches seemed to have live grass. In Barbados, it seemed to have live grass. Now, I'm saying to myself, guys, we went to Pakistan, and they had greenhouses preparing pitches to make sure the wicket would spin even while you were sleeping. And I cannot imagine we in the Caribbean. But now, right now, Australia has a better pitch attack than us. We have to accept that. Down the road, probably will be better. But I cannot believe we're going to be preparing a pitch with live grass to suit the visiting team. Coach, I need you to comment on that.
Well, I could tell you I've not been to Jamaica, so I don't know what the square looks like.
Right.
What I could tell you is that myself and Kent and the people at Kensington Oval have been in really good conversations as to trying to see what type of surface and what advantage we could get at home. We are playing against a top 3 team in the world. They just lost the Test Championship here, so we know the caliber we have. However, if we look into to be competitive, Australia, our symbol in attack, I mean, if you take out Pakistan, where it was all spin friendly and Warwick Khan did, those played a big part in those 2 Test matches. Our seam bowling with Shamar Joseph in the last Test Championship, Alzari and Jaden Sills. Jaden Sills took 38 wickets at an average of, I think, 20 in the last Test Championships. So we also have a seam bowling attack that could get 20 wickets for us. And we cannot, take out that type of assistance the surface could give to our seam bowler. If you don't get 20 wickets managed, you can't.
Well, I know exactly. You're not going to win, right?
So I mean, if I go back to Australia in Brisbane, the surface was green, yet still our Shamar Joseph, Alzari, the way he bowled, Jay Sills wasn't there, but we got 20 wickets against them, and we still had, and we outbatted them in their same conditions as well. So again, we know what we're looking for. I mean, one of the goals for me as a test coach is to make home our fortress. Try to get whatever advantage we can, whether it be the surfaces we prepare and the type of players we select in trying to execute those plans that we have. But I do believe in the seam bowling lineup that we have, and when we apply pressure and execute well, we have shown that we could get 20 wickets in the test match.
Okay, hold on. We have a caller. Let's take the caller. Good evening.
Okay, good evening. I just want to commend Mr. Bascom. I heard him on Mason and Guest, and the amount of criticism that was coming his way. Listening to him, he handled himself very professionally. He never get rattled. He was calm, and he never get annoyed, or angry with his answer, with his response. But another question, I just wanted to ask, what is the rationale by not naming Hodge and Afanaz on the 16th?
Well, I think Ronald asked the question about Hodge. It's up to them if they want to answer. I know normally sometimes.
He didn't answer.
Okay, well, he can answer now. He's there. He's listening. Coach, you want to answer?
Well, I know one thing the director is there's a reason why he's the director. I mean,
right.
Here's the thing. The first thing I always say to my staff and the people in decision making, leave the emotions out of it. You understand? And I took this job with one goal in mind, is trying to have an impact on West Indies cricket. And that's what I believe I'm trying to do. So when it comes to Kavem and Alec, you know, two exciting young cricketers who are in our plans. Not being selected doesn't mean you discard it. You know, I had two amazing conversations. Well, we had, myself, Miles, and the talent ID, lead talent ID. We had two amazing conversations with Kavim and Hodge, and explained to them, you know, the direction we're heading. And for the first time, not only calling and saying, yeah, it's not good when, you know, it's never fun. The hard part is for a coach or a captain to tell somebody not playing or they're not selected. But what is required to come back? And we explained that very, very clearly. Like Hodge was like really, really close, both him and Alec. You know, if you select an 18-man squad, you know, you have Hodge and Alec in the squad. But however, you just look at where we heading in this Test Championship, the roles that is required to play in order for us to compete, right? And the opposition and stuff like that. So it's not, Hodge and Kavem that's not the end for them in West Indies cricket. They are fully aware of what the future holds and what is required for them to be part of the program. And for me, it's taking out my emotions of the decision that has to be made. And I think that's what was done.
Okay, hold on. More question for you guys. Good evening. Hold on, Lobby. More question. All the lights going. Good evening. Good evening.
Yes, good evening, Thibault, and good evening to your guests.
Yeah, good evening. Yeah.
Days gone by, we used to have actual practice matches for our team before they play a series. Nowadays, those things are non-existent. So I would like to find out from the coach or Mr. Bascom if they have plans to bring them back, because as we all know, there's nothing beat an actual match, no matter how much you practice in the nets or whatever. Thank you very much.
Yes, any one of you can answer that, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are a couple of things that have changed. One for sure would be the intensity of the cricket schedule, especially given the proliferation of T20 leagues and so on, and the opportunities that are there for players, you know, to own in other spheres of the game. What we have tried to do, though, and as we did leading up to this series, is use those 18 matches, you know, as a springboard into, if in this case, into the camp, right? So it provided that competitive, and I mean, certainly when you look at the scores, you know, we must admit that the South Africa A team in St. Lucia was really good preparation. They had a decent fast bowling attack. They were consistent. They were at our batsmen, and they really give them a good challenge heading into the camp. So, you know, the issues would have been identified, and I'm sure that is exactly what the head coach and his team, you know, have been working through in the camp. So going forward, that is pretty much how we would want to tackle it. We will look to have camps, you know, and I mean, the head coach spoke about the fact that it was a game sense scenario. And what that does is that actually immerses the players into situations that are created to be, you know, as intense as gameplay and, you know, as close to what the test that the opposition will give you as possible. So where we have the opportunity to use a team series, we will do so. And in the absence of a team series, we will definitely ensure that we try to have, you know, some camps leading into these series where we can get in some high intensity work.
I think, hold on, we have another caller. Let's take the other. Good evening.
Hello, good evening again. Good evening to the people on the panel, Sammy and other folks.
Yes.
No, I'm asking Samuel, due respect to you, right? I'm a senior citizen. I love my cricket and I listen. No. Somebody asked what is the rationale for leaving out Calvin Hodge. To me, you did not answer the question in due respect to you. What I heard you said is that you must act on emotions and you're not taking a certain direction and you spoke to them. We agree. But we Dominicans, we want to know what is really the rationale. Is it that they were not scoring enough runs? Something like that. Give us the reason because we are not, we are not we just want to know what is the reason. And Sammy, you haven't answered the question. It is not a crucial. Just tell us, Dominicans, what it is. Calvin Hodge not scoring, Ali Carson is not scoring enough, so then we'll be satisfied. But you haven't given us the reason. Please give us the reason. Thank you very much.
You know what? I don't want this lady sounds like one of my aunts. So I have to respect her wishes. She sounds like somebody that will go down on her knees and if I don't answer, pray on my head, and I don't want that. I want her to be praying for me, not against me. So obviously, if you look at Hodge scored that test 100, right? And again, is firstly identifying what roles that has to be played. Bear with me for a second. What roles that have to be played as a batsman in different positions in order for us to be successful? What we did, how we came about this team, and you heard Miles talk about, the selection process. I had the analysts dive in to the top 3 teams in the world, right? And the different batting positions, what they are doing, what the best of the top 3 teams are doing in those different batting positions, the roles that they are playing, and then we compared to ours. What are we doing? During that last test, World Test Championships, Calvin, I think, scored 500 runs at an average of 25. Manage your batsman. The team lost, probably won, I think, 2 or 3 games during that World Test Championship. I think one against Pakistan, one against Australia.
And what the others?
And one against Bangladesh, right? During that period, Kavem averaged 25, Alec Atenes averaged 25. Hodge scored 100 during that period. And the game is always promise, skill, performance. You're competing in sports. And again, I don't want to air, conversations that was very close.
Well, you shouldn't, by the way. You shouldn't.
Yeah, out of respect for the conversation that I had with Hodge. But we must not, and that's why I said, as Dominicans, we want our players to perform well. Mm-hmm. But we must not get emotional because they hear. And if it's one thing, managed, about me, coming from a small island, from St. Lucia, you hear of the talk of the insularity and all these things. It is one thing I will not do. You watch my record as a captain, as a coach now in the CPL. If it's one place you will see every single person from the Caribbean playing is in St. Lucia. So I don't bring my emotions in my decision making. Had I done that, probably Hodge and Alec would have been there as a Windward Islander. But that's not how I operate. I'm here for West Indies cricket. And the challenge is, with me coming in new, looking for a brand, looking for roles that will allow that brand to be effective, to start. What Hodge and Kavim was given, I had to start with other people. Now you look at the guys that are being selected. You look at somebody like a Kevlon Anderson, who averages 40-something in first-class cricket over
good
the
young
last
player, by the way. Good young player.
Exactly. Over the last
good young player. Let's be real. Yeah.
John Turnbull scoring all these runs, and a lot of people like you look at who's not in the squad. guy from Trinidad who kept
Joshua De Silva.
Joshua De Silva scored 600 or so runs in after being dropped from the test in Pakistan, came back in the Caribbean, scored I think 3 consecutive hundreds.
Correct.
300s in the season. These are all, but again, it's roles. I watched a couple games in St. Lucia. I watched Alec. We if you notice, we still have these guys playing they just played the A-team series. So it's not discarded. It's just at this moment, the direction the team is going, the roles that we see from the data collected that is required to play, they just don't fit that role at that moment. However, it's not the end of the road for them. And for me, I was quite clear with in the conversations that we had. And I expect all the questions tonight will be about Hodge and Kevin. And if I had anything to hide, manage, I would dodge you off
I
the
agree.
show. You
I
know what I
agree.
mean? So that's not how I do things. And I take solace in knowing that after we put down the phone with Kavim and Alec, they were very clear and understood the plan in the future.
Well, the important thing is that you say they know. So let's take another caller. They know you spoke to them. Hold on, Lobby. All the lights going. Good evening. Hold on.
Emmanuel, he kicking you out.
The lights. Good evening.
Yeah, Sibo.
Yes.
Didn't Kevin Hodge receive an award?
No, he didn't receive an award. He hasn't received an award.
He was
nominated for an award.
Oh, he was nominated for
an award, yeah. Okay. It doesn't mean he'll get it. There are other people who are nominated as well.
What was the purpose of the award?
So what is the purpose? Well, that's different. That has nothing to do really with selection. To be fair, I mean, it doesn't mean because we nominate people, it means they have to get selected. Let us be real. Huh?
I want to know. I want to know.
Well, these are Weeper Awards. It's Weeper Awards. So the nominating people, that's a different thing. Okay? Thank you. Next caller. Yeah. Good evening. Hello. Okay. Lobby, go ahead. You wanted to ask him? Go ahead.
No, I'm waiting, Sebastian. I'm part of the program and listening to the players. I'm listening to Bascom and I'm listening to Sammy.
Hold on, Lobby. Hold on, Lobby. 1 minute. Good evening.
Oh.
Hey, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, yeah.
And panel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was listening and I heard the president, Miles Bascom, said that
he's not the president, he's the director of cricket. He's not the president, he's the director of cricket.
Director of cricket, that Calvin's performance was not a basis for selection. So what I want to know is what is if performance is not a basis for selection, what is the basis for selection?
You sure he said that? You sure he said that?
No.
He didn't say that, to be honest. He didn't say that.
He didn't say that.
Okay, well, he's there, he'll answer it. You say, okay, he'll answer. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So that's one. Number two, I would like to know which other cricketing nation in the world that doesn't have any selectors other than the West Indies side. We're not any kind of world beaters for us to be different to everybody. So I would like to know which other cricketing nation doesn't have a selection panel to select players, and why doesn't West Indies Cricket Board get its past players involved in cricket? Its past great players. This 14-year-old from India was playing in the IPL. It is said that it was VVS Laxman who called Rahul Dravid and told him to look out for that boy. So why is it that West Indies Cricket are shown in all their past players and we leave in selection up to director of cricket and people who never play cricket? Thank you.
Okay, well, director, you can answer.
Well, I know I don't think it's fair to say that we leave out our past greats. I mean, Courtney Ambrose and Courtney Walls were just with our academy. Desmond Haynes was lead selector up to probably a year ago or so. So we do have involvement from our past players. And in terms of the selection panel, I mean, I think that it's easy to go back to say that, oh, probably a selection panel is the answer. But I mean, we've had a selection panel for a very long time, and we've always had questions about about selection, right? And I don't think that is anything that is going to change. It is always going to be a contentious area because, you know, there are so many sides of it that you can look at. You can look at past performance, you can look at current form, you can look at somebody's record, you can look at what they've done in first class, you can look at what they've done in international cricket. So because there are so many dimensions to the whole issue of selection, you know, there are always going to be persons coming with varying opinions, and and it's not that they are wrong necessarily. It's just that there needs to be one unifying idea for the people who are selecting the team, right? To ensure that there is consistency in selection. There is one strategy that determines how every part of the team is selected, right? And the issue with having a panel with votes, etc., is that you end up with a team where different school of thought wins out in different positions in your squad. So you have two openers that come from one school of thought, and then you might have a number 3 and number 4 that comes from a different school of thought, and then it becomes almost impossible to have one, you know, coherent unit that is made up of, you know, pretty much the same thinking and alignment all the way from 1 to 11. So what we've tried to do with this this method of selection is to ensure that there is coherence in the thinking behind the way that every single position in that team is selected, right? So that you have that compounding effect, right? Because every player has a role, and there are contingencies built in to the way that teams are selected, so that you have cover in different areas within your 11 as well as on your bench.
Yes.
Yes, another
Yes,
caller.
Sebastian.
Nobody, I know you coming, but only like, good evening.
But
Sammy, thanks for
Hold,
your,
don't follow me. Go ahead. Sammy, the lady, your
Sammy,
auntie. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
thanks for your response. But on a lighter note, you know, when you used to come to Dominica to play to say, you like to come to Dominica because that's where you get the biggest crowd. So, Sammy, see if you can get some games for us.
as long as you promise to pray for me for things to happen in this series, you know, the director is right here. You know, we will definitely talk about getting games.
Let me go ahead now. You want to make a point?
no, Sebastian, I want to make my point, you know. First of all, yeah, I have points to make.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I have been hearing that, you know, the whole emphasis on about England, the century that Calvin scored. But the both of you all, both Bascom and Sammy, they are forgetting the role he played in Australia, the 71 runs he scored. He was very instrumental in the win, this famous win we had in Australia. Am I wrong?
Not at all.
Thank you very much. So why was the emphasis just only on the 100 he scored in England? All right. I think first of all, I mean, say, look, in terms of I'm hearing about the future, the omission of Cabin Hodge, we took that very hard, and they not only in Dominica but in the region, a number of people in the region they were quite surprised, quite surprised at the omission of Cabin Hodge. But going forward, you're looking at West Indies cricket. I think right now the West Indian public have a lot of gripes. We are consistently inconsistent. How are we going to get back the crowds? We have seen teams here, and the stadiums are empty. I feel for the players, Sammy as a former player, I'm certainly sure when he sits there in the stand to see that the place is empty, how he feels. Much for the players. How are we going to get the crowds back into the in terms of supporting West Indies when we are consistently inconsistent. And lastly, you made mention of, yes, when the previous caller spoke about utilizing the past players. You said about Haynes. Haynes should have been taken not as the head of selection. He should be there as the head of the batting coach. Because what we have seen, we have seen a serious problem with our batsmen. Serious mistakes are being made regularly. All right, games are being, West Indies losing, we hardly have 5 days of cricket. The same flaws all the while. All the while. Carvin, I understood that Carvin was dropped because they're saying that we heard from the grapevine that he was batting too slow. Well, the batsmen we have, they are batting too fast. That's why we are not scoring runs. Guys are going there just to do something, and they're out. See what happened to us in England. In England recently, we went to Ireland. We won a game. We started beating our chest. We beat we beat a weak Ireland team. I got a weak England. We have to beat.
I think you're wrong to say beating chest. Nobody don't beat no chest there, Emmanuel.
All right.
Again, don't get emotional.
Just I'm not through. I'm not through. The last thing for you all. Do you think that West Indies will qualify for the next World Cup?
In which lobby? West Indies is in the T20 World Cup next year. West
No,
Indies...
in the ODI.
Well, they can answer that. Yeah, when you have time.
Everything we're doing has been, from the time I started, was automatic qualification for World Cup 2027 and looking to win it.
Yeah. Let's take the caller. Hold on. We have a caller. Good evening.
Good evening, Sibo.
Good evening, yeah.
Sibo, I listened to Coach Sammy. And then I disagree with him. And then I've been hearing a lot of callers talking about Hodge, Gavin Hodge, but not so much about Atanas. Yes, Gavin Hodge scored 100 in England, and by the way, he did not only score 100, he also scored a 50. He scored a 50 under century in England, and then he came back to the Caribbean and scored another 50. Whereas Atanas now scored a 50 in England, a 50 against a 90 against South Africa, 89 against Bangladesh, and then he went to Pakistan. He is the only player, including the captain, he is the only player who scored a 50 against every single team. So I don't understand what they are talking about. No, John was brought back. John is not a new guy. He played 20 tests. His highest score in test cricket was 62 with 350s, but his highest is 62. His average is 24 or 25 thereabouts. So I don't understand what they're talking about. Then they made mention of Anderson, who looks like a bright prospect, I must say. But then we must also remember that when Atanas made the West Indies team, he had 4 centuries in the first class tournament.
No, caller. People mustn't say what that is not true. Atanas has not got 4 centuries in first class cricket. He has 2 centuries. So I'm just correcting you. That's not correct. Okay? Go ahead.
Okay, maybe not 2 centuries. I meant 400 runs. Sorry.
Oh no, you said 4 centuries. That's what you said.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
400 plus runs in the tournament. His average that year was high. I mean, he is 26 years old. Why drop him now? Why is he not on the team, even if he does not make the final 11? I don't really understand that. But to just drop him and then for Coach Sammy to say that, to say that they had a conversation with him and then he's still on the mic, to me he's discarded.
In fact, you heard them say, in fact, the coach said if they were picking 18 people, they would have been there. So don't say discarded. They're probably not on the squad for the series, but the coach and the director of cricket have specifically said that they're not discarded. They've said that.
Well, when you pick 16 and then you are bringing in King, who has not done anything in first-class cricket. This is not a one-day tournament. You are bringing in Imlach, although we know Hope is going to be the wicket keeper in the test. Why is the 26?
No, well, hold on. You say bringing in Imlach. You have to be consistent. Imlach is a guy in 2 years now. He scored over 500. Let's be real, guy. If we're going to make statements, we have to have the facts. Imlach this year scored over 500. See, last year he did the same thing for Guyana and helped them win the tournament. So if we're going to make comparisons, let's do it correctly, please, okay? Because the guy had made runs. Let's be real. Let's be fair.
Boy, I understand you.
Yes, but if we're going to say go ahead, make your point.
Imlach is coming in as a wicketkeeper batsman, and we already have Hope. That's what I'm talking about. We already have Hope, and we are not going on tour. We are in the Caribbean. If a wicketkeeper batsman, if something happens to Hope, we can call in Imlach right away.
So what you saying? He shouldn't be in the squad?
What I'm saying is I do not understand why all of these guys are on the squad.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question. If the morning of the match in Barbados, early, Hope gets injured before they spin the coin, what would you do then? You will tell the umpires to hold on. We have to start playing in the afternoon. What would you do?
It is very unusual because I've been following cricket for a while, and I cannot remember when last we picked a test team with a second wicketkeeper.
Yeah, but that's a squad because you have a squad. So that's why you have a squad of people. Anyway, make your point. Go ahead. Don't wind up your point. Wind up first.
Just to hit on that one, Manage.
Yeah.
Tevin Imlach and Joshua De Silva has been in every test squad since, well, definitely last 4 or 5 series that we've played at home and away.
Mm-hmm. We have a current situation now with Poran, and other young players may be considering a similar action. What plans and programs does Cricket West Indies have at this point in time to influence the contributions of young cricketers to West Indies cricket, simultaneously participating in professional leagues?
I think that we have been quite good actually with our players and being understanding of what the cricketing landscape is like currently. Multiple players have had opportunities. Alzari Joseph, when he did not go to Pakistan earlier this year, he had the opportunity to go and play some league cricket. Shea Hope and Shafin Rutherford played, had opportunities to go off and play league cricket. So I think we have been quite understanding. We have been very transparent and straightforward with the players, ensuring that they know that we are aware of what the landscape is. But we will not compromise. We will not compromise West Indies cricket. We will look for where it is possible for them to get those opportunities. But our number one priority will always be to ensure that we have, we are putting out a team that can do West Indies cricket justice at all times.
In the Clive Lloyd era, a psychologist was brought onto the team as part of the staff, the coaching staff, because they viewed that certain players had some mental or psychological problems. Currently on the West Indies team, you see guys are batting and just give away their hands. And you see bowlers bowling very loose balls. What are we doing? What's the strategy right now for addressing the mental inefficiencies of our players?
Well, I could say that currently we don't have a psychologist with the team, but we've had a psychologist with the team. I don't want to give you wrong dates, but definitely when we toured New Zealand last time, and for a few series before that, we had a psychologist. We had a psychologist with the team. So whether that made any difference in terms of soft dismissals and inconsistency, I can't say that it did, but I can definitely say that a lot of these issues are more tactical and technical, And I think that we have been, doing better in terms of shining a light on some of those issues and helping our players to walk through those. Definitely when players come to the senior team setup, I'm sure that I will hear raving reviews about this camp. I've already started to hear some of it, that players feel like they're really, getting in some meaningful work. And, what we have to do is to ensure that, we can try to maintain this type of intensity across the franchises, right? So that the franchises are able to equip our players, really evaluate them, have the hard conversations with them about, their technical and tactical skills, and ensure that they get time putting in work individually to improving on those.
Yes, Sebastian.
Hold on, a caller there, Lobby, 1 second. Okay, go on, Lobby. Go ahead.
Just listening to Mr. Bascom there. He just said about the review on the camp. We know that the Australians are coming very hard. There's no bones about it. And they're going to be attacking on the off stump. They have all the off stump. I am hoping that Coach Sammy and your new bowling coach, I don't know the bowling coach, what is his track record? He was brought there, the bowling coach you have there. That is the Australians are coming very, very hard. And they are coming at the off stump, that off stump there. While our bowlers, we're giving away. We are not attacking, we're not consistent. And that is my problem. That is my problem. We're giving away a lot of runs.
Lobby, stick up in. Good evening.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
How are you boys?
We're okay. Yeah.
Welcome to your guests on the thing. But talking about your time is running out.
Yes, you're right.
Lots of cricketers, they have talent, okay? But then there are something in cricket what we call big match empowerment. When they go on the big stage, that is when they perform. And I'm saying that these two young fellas from Dominica, they have shown that they can, when they go on this big stage, perform. And they have just started. I see no reason why they should be dropped, especially they were on the team that beat Australia in Australia after so many years. Just as they kept the boy from Guyana, Joseph, he was on that team and he performed, and they haven't dropped him. I believe Atanaz and Hodge should have been on that team, in especially playing in their country, playing in the West Indies against Australia. Thank you.
All right, thanks. We have another caller. Go ahead, Lobby. Go ahead, you're making a point.
Yes, I want to know, does the coach himself, what I just said there, is the training gear, the fast gear that preparing for that hostile bowling, this consistent bowling or the off stump, all right, from the Australians, because they are coming very hard, coach.
Of course, we have looked at all the data available. We know how they play. We know how they come about. We know what Kensington Oval brings. This is home for us. We know what areas they will exploit from us. And at the end of the day, it's a contest between bat and ball. So that's why we are here. We've been here at camp trying to fine-tune our skills and understanding what the game plan has to be. Manage, I know I got to...
Yeah, you have to go. Yes, I know.
But I would like to say this, right?
Go ahead.
Before I leave. I think, as passionate as we are as Windward Islanders and want to see our players, we should never glorify. Look at Australia. Mana's average is 49.
Yeah, he's been dropped. In fact, they dropped him
just
today.
Dropped.
Yeah.
We should never. I think we're doing Hodge and Capim a disservice by glorifying an average of 25 in Test cricket.
Compared to
right? And hold on, and thinking that myself and Miles and whoever and Jamal has some personal vendetta, against any player. We are trying to create an environment that, breeds success, breeds excellence, and we need to keep on challenging. And it shows the state our cricket is right now, when players or batsmen averaging below 35 seems undroppable in our system, and that shows how poor our system is, for us to be really talking about a 25 average, on the show. And I don't think, for me, and for the direction we're heading, I don't think that will not bring us success. And if I'm pretty sure Hodge and Kavem, they're listening, and any other young cricketer in the team that we're trying to build, and the stuff that we have to do in order for us to compete against Australia, we cannot glorify those type of performances. And this test cycle starting fresh, we trying to create a direction, trying to create a brand, and explaining roles that is required for that brand and for it to be executed in order for us to be successful. So I do understand Dominicans. I'm pretty sure when I was not playing for a West Indies team, St. Lucians would feel the same way. And that's why I have vowed as a leader to not bring my emotions into my decision making, and just speak honestly and clearly as to where we are heading. And again, I repeat, Hodge and Kavim not being in this setup is
Hodge
Hodge
and Afanaz
right, not being in this setup is no way discarded from West Indies cricket. Just like Joshua De Silva, just like who else I had to call, Kevin St. Clair, all these guys that I had to call. And what I make sure as a coach, I don't just leave you out there in the wilderness without explaining the direction of the team first, what you have to do, or what you've done and what you have to do in order for us to be back into the system. So before I leave, that's all I wanted to say, Manage. And I promise you 40 minutes. I give you an hour.
Very good. Appreciate that.
If the director wants to stay and face the new ball,
well, we have not much time. In fact, we have to close up now because we have a program coming up. So it went over. But thanks to both of you all. Thank you very much, Darren. By the way, I'll get anything up to you on Saturday.
I was just about to ask you.
No, it will get to you on Saturday, Darren. Don't worry. You'll get it.
Next thing there, people looking out for this. And next thing, Miles come and ask me my business. Don't tell you.
I want it.
I'll get it up to you, Darren. But guys, thank you very much. I mean, I want to see West Indies do well next Wednesday. In fact, next Thursday by that time, I hope. Because, let's be real. I look at this Australian team, and that is not a strong team. They're bowling, yes. And even the spinner, you watch him on good wickets, he struggles. So I'm saying you watch the batting team. That is not a team that will give you sleepless nights. So if our guys, our seamers can bowl well, I expect West Indies to give Australia a run. This is not a world-class team. And if Stephen Smith doesn't play, and with Labusche, and as you just say, averaging close to 50 is dropped, they're going to struggle. It's not a strong team. So I want to wish you the best.
Thank you, man.
Wednesday, the test start. Miles, same thing. Enjoy your vacation. I know it's close to Carnival in St. Vincent. And I want to say thanks to you guys.
One more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Dominica is still home for me.
I know that, and we know that.
And when I come there, maybe they will curse and stuff like that. I understand that. I know they're just passionate. Still one of the most passionate fans we have in the Caribbean. And when we do get games in Dominica, I know they will probably curse me, but I know it's all out of love. And I do love Dominica, and I really hope that Kavem and Alec understood, well, they did, and start working, and is motivated to get back into the West Indies team as soon as possible.
Yeah. I would say in closing, I am very impressed that a Vinci and a Lucian has gotten that level in West Indies cricket. very, very impressed with that. And all the best, guys.
Right?
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Manage.
Thank you, man. Right. So on that note, guys, on behalf of Ronald Lander, Emmanuel Lobla, Lambert Charles, I just want to say good night to everybody. We'll be back next week.
Looking for a quiet, relaxing place to stay? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Leaving the office late and need somewhere close to town? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Have business clients coming in and need accommodation? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Looking for group accommodation? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Located at 37 Goodwill Road in Portersville, upstairs ACS Supermarket. Enjoy our semi-self-contained rooms with private washroom, bathroom, Wi-Fi, air condition, cable network, mini refrigerator, all in a non-smoking environment. Call or WhatsApp at 1767-275-1899 or email us at info@portersplaceguesthouse.com to make your reservations. Porter's Place, your home away from home. Fit for a king, a queen, and all their royal subjects.
Or you, where in Roseau, Kimashabis, you can just walk in and order all your chicken parts, wholesale, and even enjoy retail. It's at AC Shillingford, all chicken parts available that you can afford. Fresh breast, and you know breast is best. Shillingford wings have muscle. After you eat it, you can fly. As for Shillingford chicken drumsticks, even swinging stars just order drumsticks from Shillingford. And for those of you who love pull, AC Shillingford keeps your belly full. Buy your chicken wholesale at AC Shillingford. From wings to thighs to drums to breasts to backs to necks, it's available. It's always available and it's affordable. Plus, you've got pork feet, ham and turkey, bull foot, chicken nuggets, pepperoni, all those right seasonings to make your kitchen keep on ticking. Buy your wholesale chicken at AC Shillingford. When you think of chicken, think of AC Shillingford. Always fresh.
The New India Insurance Company has reopened its doors in Portsmouth, offering the same great services you get in Roseau. Motor vehicle insurance, home and business owners, fire and related perils, public liability, and so much more. Come, visit us today for insurance with a personal touch on Bay Street, Portsmouth, or call us at 445-4023. We are ready.